archives, which you may or may have noticed. When did you actually start racing? Because I've got pictures of you juniors.
Yeah, I was like pee-wee races when I was about 9, 10 maybe.
Yeah.
In mountain biking as a pee-wee, yeah. So I think that is on.
So mountain biking is where you began.
Maybe.
Oh, right.
Yeah, mountain biking cross.
Because your dad's really into off-roading, isn't he?
Yeah, he used to race. We used to do cross mainly, really. I only swapped to road at 22, 3, I think.
Yeah.
I've not done much road racing before that. Did a bit of time in Italy, in Chorley. Apart from that, it was all mountain biking.
This year, been a good year. I mean, it started off with that victory at the Bay Crits.
Yeah.
You had some sensational Premier Calendar wins.
Yeah.
Overall?
Yeah, I was pretty happy with it, really. It was, I was pretty consistent most of the year, starting in Oz. And then all the way to like August time, really. And then we did sort of Portugal and Tour of Britain, which is a bit of a flat one, really. So it was just sort of trying to get out the road. But yeah, it was pretty good, consistent year, so I enjoyed it. What
was the highlight? Because I mean, obviously the Bay Crits win must have been good, but also that win at Chorley, that was just out of this world.
Yeah, just the whole season really. Nothing stands out too much. But it was nice to start the year off well with Bay Crits. Yeah, and I just enjoyed doing some different races. I've not done like Korea and stuff like that. And all that period of time, Velothon was quite a big one, and medal at the Nationals as well. I was pretty happy with.
Now that we're in the winter, how do you maintain your motivation? Because I mean, Tour of Britain finished months and months ago.
Yeah.
First Prem, if you like, isn't till April. I know that you're going to be going to Australia.
Yeah. First
Tour
race is New Zealand.
Right.
Which is the 15th of Jan, so about three or 4 weeks now.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I have quite a lot of time off in winter. Always try and go on a holiday and stuff, but I'm not managed to get away as much this year. But yeah, it's quite hard when the weather's like this and you have to do quite a lot of training because we're racing so early. But if you've got in your head you're racing, it's sort of just going to.
Well, obviously last year you went to Australia, and you know what that's going to be like.
Yeah.
Are you having to train fairly hard now?
Yeah, train really hard. Yeah. It's only 3 or 4 weeks off.
Because they don't muck about over there, do they?
No. It's. I think I had the best form I had all year last year in Jan. So. You've got to be pretty fit for it. And it's always nice. Nice to start the year off well, because then you get in a bit of a roll. It's nothing worse than trying to chase some form. So.
Now that you've done the Australian experience already, are you setting any goals for over there?
I don't know. It's always a funny one with being so early. Sometimes you say you're chasing fitness a bit. So hopefully. It'll be a bit of a short trip this year, which I think will be better. We did 7 weeks there last year. There's quite a big gap between the crits and the Sun Tour. Whereas this year we've sort of a week there, New Zealand, another sort of week, and then another race, and I think it'll go a lot quicker. And then 2 stage races in our legs by then. So come back in a few weeks then till I think Taiwan will be the next one. So. Hopefully, anyway.
Now, listen to what's gone on here today, and lots have been spoken about. One of the things that sticks out in my mind is Portugal. Would you say that's been the toughest race that you've done this year, or have there been tougher ones?
No, I wouldn't know. It's a funny one. It's a funny race to do, really. So I wouldn't say it's the toughest one because you're sort of just trying to get around it, really. It's probably the hardest. Well, near impossible to win, to be honest. But it depends what you're there for, really. We were there as a training for the Tour of Britain and just to get around it, so it worked well in that sense. But it's it was a funny one, really. The race is always hard if you're there fighting for the win. So it wasn't really the case in that.
You won some huge races this year, some big races this year. What was the biggest win for you?
I was pretty happy with Velothon. It was 1.1. And I've been in the podium, I think, once or twice before that. So that was nice to win.
Lincoln?
And Lincoln, yeah, I've been trying to win that one for a few years now. So yeah, I was pretty happy with them, Lincoln and Velothon. Yeah.
I was listening to the guy talk about there are different type of riders, the people person and the winners and all that. What are you? Are you going into races like, got to win this?
I just like racing really. I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm a huge trainer. I do it to race and not. I enjoy the racing part of cycling. So yeah, I sort of always have racing from young kids. So.
Now you've been racing for a few years on the road. Has the racing changed? Is it becoming more continental? Because you've done some continental racing as well. So is it getting less chaotic, the races, in terms of attack? Are the brakes going and then it's
more controlled than it used to be. Last a few years ago, it used to go mental from the gun. And now there's more of a bit of a break establishes and teams have a bit more control and they ride more professionally. So it's definitely changed over the last few years, and then even again the last 2 or 3 years it's changed again. I think a big part of this team last year we used to take races up and control it, and but you wouldn't have got that a few years ago.
Yeah, well, I remember Tour of the Worlds. You did a lot of work. You got in the break there, and but then you're working for Brenton as well.
Yeah, so we controlled the race most of the day there. Yeah, I had people at the road and then let it out as well. So yeah, a few, probably count on one hand how many times that's happened in the past. So it's quite nice to race like that.
Now, a lot of people just think probably when you're going out training, he's just going out riding his bike, doesn't he look nice and all that sort of stuff. Training's a lot more difficult than that. Just give us an idea of a typical week maybe. Now even. Is it just
this time of year is quite hard. It's all, you almost have to, if the weather's reasonable, you've got to try and get a really good day in to make the most of it, because it's quite hard to plan really, because you can't plan it plan 5 hours on a day that's snowing and raining horrible, and have a day off on a day when it's sunny. So you still have to play it by ear a bit more.
And is it a bit of interval work, a bit of I don't know, a bit of intensity in the training to be ready for Oz and all that?
I mean, Tim Kenner started to coach us last year. And I was doing just loads and loads of sweet spots and just half an hour.
What's a sweet spot?
Your sweet spots, sort of below time trial pace. It's pretty much just an uncomfortable pace, and we do like 3 half-an-hour blocks of it. Sort of like 310, 320 watts, and do 3 half-an-hour blocks of it. So by the time you do 4 hours with 3 of them in, it's a pretty tough day.
At what point of the season do you do most hours on the bike then?
Winter, generally, yeah.
So how many hours in a week?
It's the worst time to do it because of the weather, but we end up doing the most, Once you get in the season, especially, it was a lot different last year compared to other years as well, because obviously with the stage races, compared to the year before, I was doing more one days, you've got to train more, where the stage races, I think before the Nationals was sort of just stage race, week easy, another stage race, week easy, and then sort of Nationals, so you don't have to.
Do you actually enjoy
that much? I enjoy that a lot more. Just racing and then resting up to do another one. So yeah, the biggest amount of training all year you do is in winter really, just getting
20,
ready.
30 hours?
Yeah, 20. Yeah, probably around 23 to 26 hours, but back to back. And you don't really have, in the season, when you'll find your race and then you'll have Monday off because you've been racing, and you'll try and do a bit of training Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then if you race Sunday, you're back off again Friday, a short ride Saturday, and you end up having quite a lot of easy days, whereas in winter you're not backing off for a race, you just keep ploughing away.
Now I know that a lot of people you surround yourself with, friends and all that, are in the bike riding game. Lots of people outside of cycling as well, in terms of your circle of friends and all that. Yeah,
I've got quite a lot. I always like to take myself away from it a bit sometimes, really. And I've got friends at home, and yeah, I've got friends away from cycling.
And do you have to, are you spending a lot of time when you get together, having to explain what you do and why you?
A little bit. I mean, cycling's a bit more, and
because everyone's afraid with football, aren't they? They know what football is. They don't need to explain
you
it.
always get the questions, but people seem to know a bit more about it nowadays than they used to. But yeah, normally with my friends, that's what I quite enjoy. Go away, take yourself away from it, and it's something different because you're around it so much. Away for 2 weeks or Australia for 6 weeks, and it's quite nice then to go away and just talk about something different, really.
Final question: 2018. You've won Lincoln. Velothon's gone, so you can't win that again. What are the goals? Because there's not much you haven't won, is there?
It's hard to know, really. It all depends on, say, like nationals, for instance, and where it is, and then that's.
Well, that was a highlight for me for you.
That was a big part of the season, not necessarily the medal, but the way I rode and didn't feel out of my depth or anything. So that more that really than the actual position. And I sort of believed that I could be in there on another tough course. It's something like that's doable almost. So.
I guess that's one event that has escaped you so far as a national championship.
Yeah. So on the road I've done mountain bike and cross and crit. So. That'd be nice one day, maybe.
I've got to ask you, because the Nationals champs are only a couple of weeks away now, are you never tempted to get back into cross?
I am. Every winter I consider it, but it's almost impossible at the moment. If we're going to Australia on the 5th of January, we can't do the Nationals.
Yeah.
And then by the time I'd a rest and have to get 2 bikes and get my dad gluing tubs on. I end up getting a couple of races in, and half of it you're not very fit. So I will do it eventually when the season isn't quite as long, and maybe I start racing sort of March time. I'll do a cross season. At the moment it's too hard to fit in. We end in September and start again in first week of January. It's a big commitment, really, because you've got to you need help, really, as well. You need you get the family involved.
Your dad Phil's got to get out there.
Yeah, and it ends up getting really busy. And even just the fact getting all weight, 6 sets of wheels and all the bikes and equipment, unless you're going to do a full year at the season of it, it's quite a big commitment. But I will do it, definitely will do it one day.